go live on this. So good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 7th of March. So what we've got in store today, well, we've got the ECB meeting today. Yesterday we had the Bank of Canada. They were slightly more hawkish overall in terms of expecting to hold back in terms of rate cuts, etc. So it made for the Bank of the Canadian dollar to strengthen somewhat, which we'll look through in a moment. I'm just looking to bring the news up for you for a moment. There we go. So what we got, what we've already had, the Australian trade balance, etc. All this stuff's out. Chinese data's all out. German data's all out. So we've got the Bank of England decision-making panel. I'm not so familiar with that. What that is, I'll have to have a look at that. It may be just a gathering, but it's certainly nothing to do with the central bank decisions that we're having at the moment. Right, anyway, ECB 115 will get the statement. So it takes away new trades into the euro a little bit, unless you're going to do a quick smash and grab effectively. Just get in there quickly and take a trade. Otherwise, you're probably wise waiting or preparing for it later and see if you can trade it if you're going to trade the news. We've got the press conference then at 1:45. Aside of that, US data, because it's non-farm payrolls week, we do get a little bit more movement around these initial jobless claims, because it's a bit more of a feeling, and they tend to get a little. So just watch out for 130. So you got 115 euro, 130 US dollar stroke everything. And then we got the conference at 1:45. A lot of traders will be staying at the market waiting for that conference, and then make their decisions from there if they've got any changes to start pricing in. Okay, that's pretty much it for today news-wise. Let's get on and look at the markets here. Sorry, that was the Euro New Zealand. You can see diving down there. The euro is dropping at the moment. We'll come back to the euro here. It's reacting into its monthly pivot here. It could be stalling, but it's obviously stalling here. It's slowed up. It's arguably a bit of a flag at the moment from where it was going. It's got the potential to come down. Its daily pivot's not that far away from where it is. It's put a lower high in, so could run through there. Am I wanting to short the euro at the moment? Not really, and especially with the ECB meeting later. Goodness knows which way this could go. You can see from this daily picture, this is the yearly pivot. It's been sitting underneath it. It could be drawn back into that and react at some stage. It could go either way. There's lots of pivots here. They've got the quarterly pivot just below. So yeah, I say lots of pivots, lots of key pivots. The higher time frames, this quarterly pivot was holding it up really well in terms of resistance. We might get a retest of this, which could give us a long trade, but we'll see how that ties in with the news later. I won't just go ahead and look to trade that. The pound, well, the pound is continuing. Yesterday I mentioned this. I'm sort of much more bullish on the pound at the moment and holding into my bullish thoughts, and it is running up there, saying that it through the later US session into the Asian session, it's been off a little bit, similar to the euro effectively in that respect. We're still getting the high lows, higher highs. It's looking reasonably decent. We moved out of the flag that we saw previously. We traded that one earlier in the week. We're now sitting in this ascending channel, so there's a bit of a channel going on there. I'll put the lines on later maybe, but you can see the channel there. The top line has no real, it can give us goals or targets, but it's the bottom line that's still the support line and the most important trend line there. But I'll pop that on later, but we'll see how things develop. I do like watching this through in the morning and see if it will start picking up. It's already hit the daily pivot. It's got its R1 above, which is what I'm normally interested in. As I say, that's a potential, and it's keeping away from the main bulk of news. The yen, we've had the overnight speaker, or the Asian or morning speaker, early morning speaker on this. coming down at the moment. The yen, it's sort of it's looking like it's starting to change a little bit here. I know it's yeah, it's obvious it's moving, it's selling off here, but it looks like, well, perhaps we could see something more. It's still 2 weeks until their decision whether they're going to move from negative interest rates. There's sort of chatter about it, but there's sitting on the fence about it. So from what I could see this morning in the notes, but however, it's good enough to get the market selling selling the dollar here for now. Aussie dollar. There we go. So the Aussie dollar, the commodity currencies as a whole have done okay, aside of New Zealand. But oh no, even New Zealand's done all right. It's all right. Don't worry. Ignore me. I was thinking of the Euro New Zealand. It's actually doing very well. The New Zealand dollar. But we've seen this sort of surge back up here since yesterday. I was looking yesterday to see if it broke down any further. It didn't. I can remove this this alert off there now. Don't like seeing alerts on there too long, otherwise you forget what you put them on in the first place for. But then that never materialized. It didn't go right the way back again, but it has, well, there is still scope for this to get caught up here. It is into its daily 50 at the moment, and it's R1, so we'll see what comes of this. But I'm not in a rush. It's that there'll probably be some divergence over the highs here. Morning guys that joined. We've got the potential of a break of the lows between the two there to confirm that divergence, and it might be then on for the short side again, because originally I was pretty much looking at this short side, but this could be if it breaks this high here between these two lows, well, that confirms a more significant higher low, and we could be seeing the dollar soften through most of the markets then. The Canadian dollar, well, the Canadian dollar at the moment is just, there you go, here's one I drew earlier. It's down to its trend line at the moment. We could see a bit of a game change there, but I'm scratching my head to see if there'll be a lot of difference here. It is consolidating around the low, so the potential is that it could roll over further, and you see how it is. It's quite messy here. But this is against the US dollar. US dollar seems to be softening there, or has been softening against most of the majors here. So, well, potentially we could see this break down further than the dollar. The dollar breaking down further here. So there is scope for it. I'm not overly convinced with the Canadian dollar and its strength, but the sentiment certainly isn't there, or wasn't there. It'll be interesting to see how it changes over the weeks. But it's been one that's been very negative. Okay, the New Zealand dollar, well, we're seeing a good move on this as well, similar to the Aussie, not quite as strong in some respects. The Aussie's back up to its previous highs. This is halfway up, may have some potential. Again, we've got some short divergence here. Well, there'll be some divergence across these two highs. He says if he puts an indicator on, you might see it in one of these. Actually, yeah, it's just about there, I think. Might just be there, might not be too much divergence at all. In fact, let's have a look. Yeah, it's divergence. It's bound to be a divergence because of the calculation, and bit of divergence between those peak highs on the RSI there as well. Okay, but that doesn't say it won't continue to the upside. Just because we see a divergence doesn't mean to say it's a sell signal. It hasn't triggered the sell. It needs to break the low between the two highs for me, particularly using RSI formula. So at the moment it's still pushing up. As I said, the US dollar seems on the weaker side of things here. We'll see how things develop. The data yesterday wasn't particularly strong for the US dollar. So we've got the quarterly pivot just in front of us on the New Zealand dollar, just before you go chasing too strongly. Just be wary. Right, okay, the Swissy. What's going on with the Swissy at the moment? Swissy range bound is pretty boring as normal. Look, it's too bitty for me to be looking at. Likes the euro yen, where the yen is outperforming here, and you'll see this across a lot of the other pairs. This is the Aussie yen and the CAD yen and the other yen, Swiss yen. All the yen is outperforming this morning, so it's no surprise there. Euro pound still staying in this quite tight range here, nothing kicking through there. Euro Aussie, well, the Aussie, the CAD, and everything here, doing so the commodity currencies, as I said earlier, outperforming the European currencies at the moment. This is running down southbound. Is it too early to get into something? Probably. It might be showing more of a correction, but of course, anything with the euro at the moment, we've got risks. With the meeting out later, this could just all change, and of course it could just all continue. But the risk is high today, so high risk trading these euro pairs. I am still long on this euro. My stop has moved up to this low down here, so I'm well out of the way, but well, for now that could all change significantly come the news later. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. I'm in it. It's a bigger picture move. It's, you know, looking at it here, technically it's still pretty much there. If you look at Heikinashi and sort of look at the days there, all the bars up until now have been positive, and you use this, it's a bit more of an averaging tool, keeps you in trades longer, and hold you in. This is red at the moment. This could all turn green, this current bar, so don't get too tied up on that. But you can see the previous still looking positive, flat bottoms. That's what we want to see on an upward rise. So yeah, we'll leave that to be for now and see how it goes. But anyway, it could well roll over, but we'll see. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to carry on in the trading room in a short while. That's the Forex pairs. Quick look at the major indices and gold. Gold has made all new time highs. Woohoo! It's broken out its previous highs here. It was tried to be pinned onto the fact that the US interest rates are going to be reduced at some point. Well, we've known that for a long time. It's been that had been priced in a long time ago. Anyway, whatever. I think it's a bit flaky. It's probably overbought on some indicators. I don't know what's it looking like on here. I haven't really got an overbought indicator on there. Oops, cancel that. But it's probably a bit stretched on some indicators there. When you get things like this happen, it can go beyond where you think it might go. It's already up to its monthly R3, beg your pardon. From a statistical point of view, there's a chance it might stall there and might actually get back by the end of the month, and it's a long time yet, but be back underneath that S2. But it's not second guess what it's going to do at the moment. At the moment it's bullish, but do I want to get into the long side? Not really. It's probably overbought. Do I want to get into a short side? No, it's pushed up too high, and for whatever reason, whatever's driving it has driven it up that far, and it's probably just people jumping on because it's pushing up there. And we always know the last people to get in are the biggest losers. I don't mean that personally. I just mean they lose the biggest amount of money. Losers. Right, crude. Crude, well, it's still in this no trade area for me, really. It's just too bitty. I've been looking at this in the afternoons. It's like, but yesterday it did actually get a kicker. 1 o'clock it started, 2. It did push up there. I missed this yesterday because it has been so poor. I'll keep on watching it and whatever else and see how things develop. It moved a long way yesterday at one stage, but gave a lot back afterwards. We'll see how things develop here, but it's very rangy on the bigger picture, and it's really what's the intraday chop is just keeping me out of this as much as anything else. Perhaps, I mean, it's below its daily pivot at the moment, so technically it's bearish on the day, and it's consolidating around the lows of the price action. You would expect that could come back down to its S1 and the bottom of this sort of channel-y range that it's sitting in. But maybe later on in the day, as it picks up, we get more volume coming through towards 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Remember, it's Western Texas. We tend to get more trading around that time on it. We could see more volume coming back into it again. Not too much more, because I don't want oil prices to increase. I want them to go down. I want cheaper fuel. Right, the equity markets, what we're sitting on here, let's look at the higher time frames. So these are consolidating where they are. Managed update yesterday, currently off, but that could all change a little bit. The idea of a weaker a weaker dollar and lower interest rates is what the equity markets really want, and we could see a boost on anything that comes through like that, but we'll have to wait until tomorrow to see the non-farm payrolls. But again, trading may be a bit on the thinner side. I don't know what the volumes are looking like, but could be on the thinner side with this with the news this week. So certainly not something I want to short, and again, I don't want to be buying from here. I said yesterday I'd rather be buying from a decent retrace. Well, I did make a decent retrace yesterday. Could have been an opportunity in the afternoon, evening there, but anyway, it's a mess, isn't it, when you look at the lower time frame? So I'll leave the mess alone. But I'm more inclined to go for the bullish side than the bearish side still on it. The DAX doing all right here. That's again, I mentioned about that retracing would be quite good for the long side. It has come back to its weekly pivot, but now it's just not broken the high that it made shortly afterwards. There, came back again. It's just looking a bit on that softer side for now. Could see a bit more of a roll on that this morning. We'll see, but not chasing that either way yet. FTSE, weird, big gap there, horrible on the 4 hourlies, ugly looking market. Right, I'm going to leave it there on its ugliness. I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye for now. Right.